Okay, take 300. So basically today, I'm just trying to hook up my 3D printer to a software called OctoPrint. It's basically a software that gives you a website user interface that you can use to interact with your 3D printer. So I have a Ender V3, V2 or something like that. I got it at Micro Center a while ago, and it's been great so far. To be honest, I haven't really taken a bunch of time to learn how to use it, but just the other day, I just moved actually, so I'm getting it set up in my new apartment, but I set up a Benchy the other day. Anyways, I'm getting distracted. The Benchy, it's fine. It looks good enough for me. I'll observe the behavior over the next couple of prints and then decide if I'm want to completely re-level the bed or what. But anyways, normally you would be using this screen right here, which is it's currently dusty, but it's also turned off. So I have already gone through and kind of done everything. So I'm going to be working backwards to sort of describe what I did. It's a Raspberry Pi operating system, so it's based off of, I think it's based off of Raspbian, which is like based off of Debian or Ubuntu. I think they're both pretty similar. The point being, that operating system is going to be running on that Raspberry Pi we have over there. So I've already done that. I might go through for the video and do it again. But essentially what you're going to do is you're going to take an SD card. I think I probably use like a 32. So you're going to go ahead and get the OctoPi ISO, or that should be the image itself. You'll use a tool. You'll use a tool like Balena Etcher is the one I use. And you should be able to essentially flash that ISO file onto your media of choice, usually a flash drive or in this case a micro SD card. So I went ahead and flashed that OctoPi ISO onto the micro SD card, essentially making that a piece of bootable media. So that way when we insert that SD card into our Pi, it's going to boot into our OctoPi software. Got the SD card flashed. Then you're going to go ahead and put that into your Raspberry Pi. I also have some additional, I have a little keyboard and mouse set up. I have the cord for the Pi itself. You can see one cable goes there, and let's see if my camera will bend. Yeah. And then another cable goes there into our Pi. So that's what's, going to enable us to do what we need to do in terms of interacting between the computer and the printer, or the Pi and the printer. So once we connect this cable, there is no on or off switch, but the main problem I've been having for like the past hour or so is this right here. Another problem. This IP camera right here. So I used to work at Micro Center back around COVID time, and these Wise cameras were huge. We got a big shipment of them. They were like dirt cheap, like $20. And this is the height of the pandemic, so a lot of people were like working from home. And in order to kind of match that demand, we had just like literally pallets of these bad boys. So of course I grabbed a cup. I might have two, but I have at least one that I grabbed for myself. And after a while, I don't know exactly why, but they switched from an IP camera that you could like interact with the Wise app and go in and then interact with this through Wi-Fi. That's the whole IP of the IP camera thing. But they changed it from IP cameras to just like a regular USB camera. So you'd have to like change the firmware. So I've been screwing around with that. I followed this, I think I followed this Reddit, which led me to this GitHub page. And I essentially followed the instructions, the main one being yes. I grabbed the OpenMiko firmware.bin. So I grabbed that, renamed it to demo.bin like they recommended, put that at the root of the camera, restarted it. Then I think I took it back off, grabbed the SD card out of the camera, and added the necessary configuration files so that way it could be visible on my Wi-Fi network. And after that, praise the Lord, hallelujah, it is working. So this bad boy is streaming, as you can see. But now that this bad boy is working, we should be able to have, we should be able to see our goddamn prints, okay? We're going to have visual feedback now. So theoretically, even though, you know, you're never supposed to 3D print unattended or else your mom's going to burst into flames. Nothing good. But, you know, if I was in like another room or something like that, maybe I was in the shower and I got bored, I could, you know, pull up my phone, go to the right IP address, boom, see my prints in live time. And also the time lapses is what I'm excited. The time lapses are what I'm excited about. Let's hook this camera up and give that another try. So, take two. Okay. And now is kind of the moment of truth. I'm gonna hook up this mess over here and then see if we can get this working. So, quick note, I am kind of curious. This base right here, as you can see, is not the most stable. I think I got this for like 30 bucks at Walmart. But, some point I might want to consider upgrading that at some point in the future. I kind of rearranged how my filament was, though. And I'm hoping that setting those there provided some sort of rigidity or stability in the base. But anyways, all right, so let's turn this bad boy back on and observe. Boom. Okay. So the camera that's turned on, it's very subtle, but it makes little like clicking noises. So I know it's getting power at least. Printer just got power. Obviously that means our Pi successfully powered. I can see the Ethernet cable or the Ethernet indication light blinking or whatever. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and flip this on. There we go. There's the loud whiny fan for the printer. Back to the task at hand. We are going to log into the UI and see if we can get popping, brosive. All right, attempt to reconnect. Anything? Gosh darn it. This is the web UI. As you can see in the web UI, we have our temperature here. I believe this graph will display it as it ramps up or whatever. Control. This is what I'm trying to get working. This should show our webcam. G-code viewer. I think this will show like the different layers of the print. When you 3D print something, I think it has to slice it into a bunch of little layers. Like the same way, if you look closely at a print, if you don't have a printer, you might not notice this, but they have a bunch of little lines, almost like a topographical map, and that's because each different layer, you know how it works. It prints from the bottom up, layer by layer. So I think this will show that. Terminal, this should be giving us access to, I want to say the Ender 3? Huh, I'm not seeing anything on there. That could be concerning. Anyways, oh, it might be because we haven't connected yet. There we go. Okay, so now that we've connected, we can see, there we go, actual bed temperature. Apparently, that's the temperature of our bed and tool. All right, so the problem is, I think I'm going to have to manually configure the IP for the webcam, because right now it's set to another local address. So yeah, I'm gonna screw around with that, see what happens. Woo! Okay, beautiful. So it looks like all we needed to do was adjust the URL. They're separate entities, point being. So I just put the right URL in there, and now it knows where to look. And I think I can make little snapshots and stuff and do the whole time lapse thing. So, ooh, okay, yeah, fuck it. Sure, on Z change. Minimum interval, sure, 5 seconds, 25 frames per second. Yeah, sure. All right, so we got that going. I think I'm gonna adjust the camera a little bit. All right, you sit right there and then like, tell me if the camera changes. All right, so basically, I downloaded from Thingiverse the 3D Benchy For this specific file, for whatever reason, there's a bunch of... It's a boat. So every single part of the boat looks like it's broken down here. For this, I just chose the one that was... It's the biggest one. Okay, yeah, complete. I think this is all of them combined. So you take that, you put that into your slicer here, and this is where you edit all the stuff where I was telling you about the different layers, maybe what bed temperature, what tool temperature, how fast the extrusion's gonna go, maybe how you offset the home and all that good stuff. All of that, or a lot of it, is gonna be put into that. Well, yeah, I think it's put into the G-code file. So this is a STL file for the standard tessellation language. And then that gets transferred once you configure these settings into our Benchy file in the G-code format, which actually is going to tell the printer, you know, all the right X, Y's, Z's, what are those called again? All the coordinates it needs to coordinate the printing. That was awful, but all right. So I think I've yapped enough. Let's give this a go. Let's start her up. I'm not used to reading this graph yet, so I don't know exactly what it means, but I'm pretty sure it's showing, you know, the rise of our bed to temperature. Then in a second, I'm sure we'll see the red line jump up for our extrusion tool. So let's see. All right, great. Now that that's sitting about where it needs to be, hit that 50 degrees Celsius. This is going to jump up to 200 degrees Celsius. And I'm going to go clean off the bed real quick. Woo! Oh, shit. All right, that was terrifying. So it looks like I'm going to have to adjust something with the homing, the X, Y, Z, that sort of thing. It just repeatedly and the head was like bashing into the homing beacon. Jesus Christ. Whatever clip or button it hits to let it know that it's hit, you know, let's say the X-axis 0. It was just hitting that repeatedly. Hopefully it didn't wear out any gears or belts or anything like that too heavily, so I immediately just turned it off. Device reports ready. Yeah. All right, let's connect again. I'm gonna try it again. I think it's gonna do the exact same thing, and then after that, I have to go in here and probably mess with the X, Y, and Z, which sounds like a pain in the butt, but you know how it goes. Man, that scared me. I've never heard my printer make that sound before. If it's about to break, it's about to break right now. Okay, I'm going to have to adjust the settings. Back to the drawing board. Okay, quick update. So, I suspect that my firmware on my printer is out of date. I was screwing at it at one point because I was trying to get the BL Touch to work with this printer, but Creality is a flippin' liar and it is not compatible with this printer. Anyways, I have a 4.2.2, so that is the name. So that is the firmware I need to have on here. So anyways, I'm about to go ahead and hopefully get that flashed properly and see what happens. Okay, update. Firmware is flashed. Believe we're up and running. So I'll let you guys watch live as this either crashes and burns or very uneventfully successfully homes and then starts printing. All right, take 3s. Oh, thank the Lord. Oh, so nervous. All right, now I get to be nervous again. Let's see if it actually prints into quality. It's not dog.